Welcome to another painting with Art with Tone. So the new project is a sunrise over Gippsland. So there's going to be some challenges within it, but we're up for it. So I haven't really done a sunrise before, but I love clouds. I love movement. So I think it's going to be suited to my style, and I'm really quite excited to see how it sort of plays out. So I like to start with the blue. We just get it down. So there's a lot of white. It's always a little bit daunting, I suppose, at the start. Trying to fill that space. A probably key thing is you never want to go too dark. You can always go darker blue. And I think with the oil, sometimes it can look a bit different from the palette to what it is on the canvas. So always go a little bit lighter on the palette because it's no doubt going to be a little bit darker on the canvas in a weird way. So once we get that blue down, I sort of got the lightness coming from the left. The darker side of the sky is on the right. We've added that sort of lemon yellow, blending it in with the blue, making that greenish hue. And once I've sort of got that mostly done, it's now we're going to introduce the warmer colors. So this is our warm yellows. It's going to be reds, it's going to be oranges, a bit of purple as well, and it's sort of going to fill out our sky. So again, we're just trying to really fill up a lot of the space, just so then I can sort of add more color on top. And it's important to sort of get these base colors pretty correct. I think you're going to save yourself a lot of time, a lot of probably money on oils, particularly like I'm using Old Holland oils, so they're not the cheapest, but I suppose that comes with practice in terms of getting your color palette correct and sort of mixing the color that you're seeing or you're envisioning. For me, particularly just seeing on the image, and always go lighter. Like there's no need to go dark, I think, is my biggest lesson. So a lot of white for this sunrise. I'm going to have to go buy some more, but there's no issue with that. So I've put in these yellows. I'm starting to get these reds in now, and you can sort of see me just working down the page. And this sort of area I'm working on, it's a little bit of a reddish purple, a little bit darker on this side. I'm trying to also add that warmth from the sun, which I'm going to have in the middle. And then we've got beautiful like salmons, and sorry, I missed about 40 minutes of filming. And so we fill it in, and then we've got these clouds. So I've done the clouds, and sort of the lesson with clouds is there's no real right or wrong. You've really got to think about the sky being a dome, and you want to create distance through the shape of how the clouds are and how they're moving within the sky. Particularly on a sunrise is quite interesting because we want to create depth with the clouds, and the depth that's created is through the color. So we've got the white, which although it's at the top of the image, it's actually the clouds that are closest to us. And then we've got those darker clouds, which are sort of a little bit further away, but sort of not getting the sun, and then deeper further now into those warm yellows and where we hit those reds, those lilacs. That's like the furthest part of the clouds, and that really creates this distance of, okay, clouds are sort of coming on top of me, but then I'm also seeing block colors further in the distance in the horizon. And so it's always important to sort of think about this, particularly in different lights. And there's many images that you can use for reference, but also just look up the sky is forever like giving you a different sort of image, and it's really interesting to sort of see how the light works when it's particularly sunset and sunrise. It's like opposite ways in terms of how the light looks on clouds and things like that. So it's good to sort of know what that looks like, and it's like, why do I think this looks like a sunrise, or why do I think this looks like a sunset, or dusk, and things like that. So it's really important to be clear about the way sort of light is, and how it reflects on the clouds, and if it's reflecting what you want, because usually you've just got to adjust a few things. So I'm sort of starting to add the highlights. I'm trying to add some darkish areas as well. It's been pretty cold here in Melbourne, so the paint hasn't really been drying. I just work out in the garage, so it's been about a week and a half. I'm like adding some stuff, but it definitely by no means is it finished by the end of this video, and I've got a bit more work to do in terms of adding highlights, lowlights, particularly the whites, and sort of that really yellow, um, and and that will just create more depth and more expression within the image. And then once I sort of got to this stage, like I sort of couldn't do more on the on the sky, so I just started to do the horizon. Again, just using my eyes. Like you can back yourself in, start left to right, and then slowly work your way to the middle. And then it's good to sort of create this, like what the color is going to be in the horizon, like in the foreground, I suppose, and then contrast that with what's happening in the sky. And so that's pretty much it for today. This is the sky.